Joining us today on Pirate Radio Live, former ECU catcher, now playing minor league baseball, currently with the Dayton Dragons. He is Ryan McCrystal. Ryan, good to catch up with you. How you doing, man?
Doing really well. Good to be back. I feel like it's been a while.
Yes, sir. Great to talk with you. It looks like the numbers individually for you are going pretty well. How's minor league baseball treating you these days?
It's going really well. It's just such a long season. Like the the thoughts that I had before the season that you'd just be able to make adjustments like throughout the day, like throughout every day. It's like crazy. You know what I mean? Like you can't let each day affect the next one because we're on game 110 or something like that, and it is crazy. I was running the second yesterday when I hit a double, and I felt like my legs were still behind me. If that makes any sense. So it's just making as many adjustments as you can, as well as just preparing your head to play 130 games. But it's going really, really well. I've made some like slight adjustments here and there, but not trying to really change anything when it comes to the everyday. And I think that's the reason that I'm having a pretty decent year.
A lot of folks seem to not care about batting average as much as other stats. I still look at that stat maybe first, but maybe I'm just an old man. But hitting 300 in high A sounds pretty damn good to me. But what other things do you look at as far as offensive productivity? Again, you're just day to day in the grind, but do you look at numbers at all and say, "Hey, I need to get that up," or "Hey, that's looking pretty good"?
So one thing I've done is I've started just looking at my numbers like once or twice a week, like twice max, because obviously they're on the scoreboard every night. Like you see them when you play, but I think the more that you look into them, the more that you start trying to reach for things that are unnecessary. And I think it's hard to play for numbers, but I think that when you're consistent, those numbers are going to show the work that you put in. I think it's kind of something I had to do after I was hitting 180 after April. I was like,
Hmm.
well, don't really want to look at the scoreboard in the first place because it says 180 on it. And so I was like, I just got to kind of try to avoid the massive scoreboard in left center. And I think the more that I did that, the more that I realized like it really doesn't matter what that says because there was a month where I hit the ball over 100 like 10 times and I didn't get a
Right.
single hit. And then there was another month where I got a lot of hits when I wasn't hitting the ball as hard as I was the previous month. And it's just the way baseball is. You know, it's like you see someone line out, you're like, well, now they're going to get jammed and get a hit at some point. But like what you said about batting average is like I think it shows consistency for sure over a long period of time. Like I think for me, like I think I'm coming into my power a little bit. I think I'm still learning how to do it. I think it's more so about getting into better counts and swinging at better pitches than it is about having that power. And so I think that I'm glad my batting average is what it is right now. A, swinging at some of the pitches that I've swung at, and B, knowing that there's a lot more in the tank when it comes to the power side of things. So I think that it's impossible for batting average to ever lose value. I think that people that act like it doesn't matter are just saying that because batting average is consistently getting lower over
Yeah.
the last few years. But obviously, power is important and everything's important like that. But I think that people that can hit will be in the lineup when it comes to just about any team.
Yeah, and it's like this for every position. If you struggle defensively, you better be pretty dang elite at hitting. But they're going to count on your defense as well. But I think catcher is even unique to everywhere else when it comes to that because you're responsible for the pitching and depending on the level, calling a game and all that, the communication. So how about that part of it, Ryan? How's the catching, defensive catching going for you?
That's probably been the most fun part of the year for me. Like I was playing behind, I think it's like our number two prospect or something like that. It was Alfredo Duno, and he's a great dude. He's so young, and it was like he's going to play behind the plate a lot more than I was to start the year, and I knew that going into it. So I think that also helped the day to day become more important because if I worry about catching once every 4 days, then that's something that I can't control. So there's no reason to worry about that. And then started to catch a little bit more, and I started to catch really well. And it's one of those where I'm catching off a knee now. I'm trying to figure out like just how to do the whole defensive, be a good defensive catcher. And one thing I'm able to hold on to is that I've always been able to call a good game. I've always kind of had an understanding of pitch calling, like what certain pitchers do, like how to make certain pitchers click when they need to click, and what's going on when they're struggling. And it's kind of been something I've started doing when I got to Dayton. Is I'm catching 4 times a week now, probably. So I feel like I'm in control of our pitching staff, which is the most fun thing in the world to me. Is like being able to know that what a certain guy needs and knowing that another guy needs something completely different, and then defensively just receiving and blocking and everything. Like blocking is something that Coach Godwin helped me out with a ton because we did plenty of blocking out in front of the plate before practice where J Dub and I were just trying to get through it because we were taking balls off the neck, but we were like, I swear we're going to get better from this one of these days. But I think that the big difference here is that guys have a lot more control of their stuff and everything, and you can actually work on catching the ball a lot better. And so I've gotten a lot better at that. And then I think I've always been able to throw. So I think that just putting it all together and then running a pitching staff, I think that if guys want to throw you, it makes it a lot easier to get better at defense.
Ryan McCrystal joining us. Ryan, I've always enjoyed your personality. You got a great sense of humor and seem like a guy that could go in any room and like talk to somebody about something. Who knows what? So, but you seem very comfortable talking to you today. Like just the lifestyle as a whole. Like, are you kind of comfortable with where your life is now? Because it's not the most normal life, right? All the travel and everything you do. So, how are you doing with that part of it? Just everyday life.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's so unique, and I think one thing that helps me a ton in it is I think my faith is something that I can take with me everywhere, and I think that the idea of representing God and my family every single day, every single place that I show up, it's a unique opportunity, and I'm beyond blessed to be able to do it. You know, I think that over the last year and a half, 2 years, I think I've grown so much in my faith, and I think I've begun to understand like what's really important, and so it makes everything else that isn't important. It makes it a lot easier to deal with, and it makes it more fun to deal with because in reality, like I'm always representing my family. I'm always representing God. I'm always trying to be the best version of myself, and it doesn't matter if that's in a little conversation with an away clubby or if it's with my family at lunch. You know, I'm going to try and be the exact same person, and I've learned how to do that a lot better. I think it's something I struggled with at school my first couple of years was trying to please people that sure you always want to make people happy, you know, but I think that at the end of the day if they're not happy with who you are, I think that that's more on them than it is you. So I think that it's kind of something I've learned a lot from my fiance too, is that like what matters really is like who you are every single day, like knowing who you're going to get, knowing just that I obviously that you're enough, but that my personality, like it can be a lot sometimes, but like if people know what they're getting, like they should enjoy it for the most part. And if they don't, like I can pick up on that and kind of reel it back, you know. But it's something that Willie Harris, my coach in Daytona, when he called me up, he one of the things that he mentioned was that my personality is something that has stood out to everybody, and that while I may say some dumb stuff in the dugout sometimes, everyone loves it, and that at the same time I say a lot of good stuff. So he said that it's very unique, and it's something that I need to make sure I take with me the rest of the way. And I think it's just something really special. I think the people around me that I have now too are really, really helping me. So the lifestyle is great right now. So
That's awesome, man. Great perspective too. And yeah, we've heard you say some dumb stuff, but like you said, it's always awesome when you do. So we appreciate it here at Pirate
there's plenty
Radio.
of it.
You said you were telling me before we got going, you got some family in town. Which look, one of the cool things, Ryan, about following you and the team at ECU was your super fan brother and your family. Like it just becomes part of the team deal, and you don't have that day to day, I assume now. But how nice is it to get family around you every now and then?
Yeah, it's awesome. I got to see my mom the other day, and it was really cool. In the Florida League, there's not that many fans at games. It's like at the spring training sites, except for ours in Daytona, and so there's really not that many fans there. It's hot as crap in the summer. You know, it's just kind of miserable at times in the middle of the sun, and so there's not that many fans. But like seeing my mom, grandpa, fiance at a game the other day with like 7,000 people there, it just kind of reminded me of playing at school and playing in front of crowds that really care. And I think it was really, really, really unique and cool. And obviously, it's you want to see them as much as you can. Brandon really hasn't been able to come out that much, which kind of stinks. But he's so worried about the people that he works with at his nursing home that he doesn't really want to leave for too long because he's worried the yogurt's going to expire in the fridge. He says, but I get it.
Priorities,
I
man.
guess it's one of his things, and you got to deal with it. But he watches me every night, and he texts me all the time. And he got to watch my dog the other day when I got called up, and so he sent me a picture of him just sitting on his Boston Red Sox blanket because he refuses to switch over to being a Reds fan. But it's awesome, and there's so much support that it's unbelievable. Just from people all over the place being able to watch everything. So pretty good.
Ryan, I don't know if we've talked to you since the end of the season. Maybe we have, but how about ECU? Going through the doldrums for most of the year, and then kind of flipping the switch in Florida, and then going on to a regional, playing very well, beating Florida twice. You had the coach from Florida, Kevin O'Sullivan, going crazy on everybody. You had that story. It was a weird year for ECU baseball, but again, they ended up in a regional final, and it comes out another solid year, another championship for Cliff Godwin's Pirates. I know you're playing your own game and everything, but I know you were following along.
Yeah, I mean, in reality, I don't think anyone that's ever been in the program ever doubts that it's always going to turn into a championship season. I don't think anyone's ever watched us play and been like, man, just don't have it this year. I think we're struggling a little bit, but at some point we're going to figure it out. And I think that's kind of what I was thinking all year was, when are we going to figure it out? Because I know it's going to happen. And at the end of the day, Coach Godwin's always going to get his guys to play the best when they need to play the best. And so I think that going into Florida, them knowing they only had one chance to get into a regional, it was like, all right, well, we're going to win it. I just wonder if we're going to sweep it or if we're going to do it and losing one and then winning it. But I think it was really, really cool to see. I think it shows just how amazing that program is when it comes to being resilient and just like knowing who we are as a program, not trying to be anyone else. So I think it just shows a lot of like how our program goes about things every day.
Ryan McCrystal joining us. His Philadelphia Eagles play tonight in preseason action. It's just preseason, Ryan. How much are you going to watch your world champion team this preseason before they get to the real thing?
Well, I probably won't get to watch it much because I'll probably be playing, but I'll
Yeah.
probably follow it pretty closely. I got a bunch of teammates here that went to like Texas A&M and everything, and they're huge football fans, like bigger football fans than I am. So they're keeping me in the loop because they won't shut up about fantasy football. So I'm definitely going to keep up with it a little more this year than I think I have in the past.
All right. Well, hope your birds. Look, Commanders are coming for him. If we can just sign Terry McLaurin, I would feel a lot better heading into
They were
the
coming
season.
for him last year too, right?
Well, and they showed up at the game for a
They were
half.
there.
Ryan's such a jerk, man. The Commanders scored like late in the game to cut it to 40, and he sent me a text. He's like, "There's still time left." I had to laugh. Like I appreciate stuff like that because hopefully I can
Yeah,
send it back to you one day, but we'll see.
yeah, and I'll wear it.
Ryan, great to catch up with you, man. Seems like you're in great spirits and certainly are going about all this baseball and life the right way. So we miss you, man, but it's great to catch up with you. We'll do it again down the road, buddy.
Awesome. Can't wait.